Okay, we are back with another video, and today I want to introduce to you guys Injustice Mobile. Injustice Mobile came out in 2013, and it is a very, very old game. In fact, the last time it got a real update was back in 2019, so it's been basically almost 6 years since the last real update this game's gotten, and very little has changed since then. Um, and for, veteran players, this is nothing new. We've grown accustomed to this, but this means there's a lack of content available. There are a few people who still do post things about it, but one thing I've never seen posted is what we are going to be testing today. Now, Injustice, for those of you who are new, is a very grindy game. It is a very, very long grind to get your account to a comfortable level to play online. One thing that would help with that grind, with it being such a large mountain of a grind, would be an autoplay feature. Now, hold on. I don't mean any bots or using any game-breaking rules with glitches or hacks or nothing like that. Nothing of that sort. But I wanted to see if we can maybe get a win without any user input, without the player doing anything except touching the fight button and then at the end of the match pressing the next button. Now, for this experiment, we need to first tackle this one by one. Firstly, we need to choose a battle to go into to test this out. So since this is my first time doing this, I think the easiest place to probably do this is during the weekly challenge. And this week's weekly challenge is the Blackest Night Martian Manhunter challenge. And we are going to be doing this on the standard difficulty since that will be the quickest to get this match done. Now that we have a fight, we can't just go into any single fight and just kind of go into it. We need to select a very specific type of fight. And for this instance, since we're not going to be doing any player interaction, the best choice is to probably have the game do interactions for us. So for this, I think we should go into a chaos fight. Now chaos means, for those of you who don't know, is basically it's random tag. Your characters will get tagged in for you, and thus applying whichever abilities they might have. So this doesn't require any input from the user, and in a regular gameplay session, this would be a disadvantage, but for us and for the purposes of this experiment, this is actually an advantage. Now that we have the fight selected, we need to select our characters. And for this, my first choice was probably the most obvious, at least in my opinion, is an Elite 7 level 50 Earth 2 Solomon Grundy. Now, I would say Elite 7 level 50 because it strengthens his passive, and his passive being Death and Decay. When Solomon Grundy is in combat, his death aura does damage over time to the enemy. And that is what we want to specifically focus on for the purposes of this experiment. His damage to the enemy without doing anything to them is really going to help us get this challenge done. And now we need a second character to actually destroy the enemies and actually knock them out. Because the damage over time that Solomon Grundy is going to do can only go so far. It can get their, health to basically one, but it will not knock them out. So we need a character who can actually go in there and knock them out without any input from the user. And for this, I'm going to use the Batman Ninja Nightwing. Now, the interesting thing about him is on the surface level, he doesn't seem to have anything that would knock the opponent out just by them attacking him. However, his signature gear, the brandished Ninjato, does give him the ability to reflect basic attacks and reflect damage onto the enemy. And an interesting interaction with the Batman Ninja Nightwing is that if they're attacking him with even basic attacks, they can actually knock themselves out without you having to do anything. So we do have our second character, and I think he will be key in getting the enemies knocked out for this challenge. And for our third character, we will probably just be using a cyborg since that is the requirement of the challenge in this fight. Now that we have the characters and we have the gears that we want to focus on, we can now enjoy the experiment.
Solomon Grundy. Nightwing. Cyborg. Begin.
Yes, indeed. It is complete. Now, this is probably not the most sustainable way or the most efficient way or the quickest way of, going about this game. It would be, of course, obviously way quicker if you just attack the enemies, and it would take a lot less time. This was just an interesting and fun experiment I thought I would do with my account. Because it's always something I've thought about given the game's very grindy gameplay. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and please subscribe.